Shakira, whenever, wherever on BBC Radio Nottingham. You're listening to Aaron. This is In the Game, and we're turning our attention away from tennis. Then we went to skating. Now we're talking about hockey, because today was in fact day 7 of the Hockey Masters tournament. Now, to tell you more about the Hockey Masters tournament, sounds a bit of a mouthful when you say that, I'm joined by Gus, Gus and Andy, you know, it's the over 50s, and I feel bad even throwing out that age to start with. I really didn't want to go down that, but I'm also joined by Simon. Simon, you kind of oversee all of this.
Yeah, there's a committee of 5 of us who put the tournament together. We put the World Cup together last year, and that was so well received at Nottingham Hockey Centre that we pitched again at the Europeans, and that's what we've put together. So these guys are from one of the teams. We got 52 teams over the course of 10 days. So yes, fabulous event out at the Nottingham Hockey Centre.
What was the need for this, or why did they want to do it? Because I remember watching Football Masters, do you know, the indoor tournament years and years ago. We'd love to bring that back. You had ex-pros playing together. The pros loved doing it because it brought back that camaraderie. They got to be like a pro footballer again for a while. Was that the same rationale?
Yes. So the question is, what's the need? The need is that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of players like these guys, players and coaches around the world, who've played fabulous hockey at sort of normal adult level, if you like, and then that sort of tails off as we all get a little older and a little less mobile as we get kind of towards the end of that career. But there's a massive desire to keep playing competitively, and rather than just go down the teams in their clubs, they want to play with peers and teammates, and they turn out what we now have. So here we have 35s, 40s, 45s and 50s, but that goes all the way up to over 80s. So there's a massive community who want to play, and so the need for the tournament is making sure these guys can play at international level all the time.
I was going to say, I'm looking at your stash there at the moment. It's actually a really nice stash, still to have England hockey on it and Masters. Feels a bit kind of golf and hockey like kind of put together. How are the legs feeling on day 7 of this tournament?
Oh, not too bad. We've played pretty much every other day, so it's not horrendous. But you do feel, you know, as you get older, it's not as easy as it used to be. But going on for what Mace said, to be honest, it's nice to play against other players that are of the same age, because when you go down the teams on a Saturday, you end up chasing 25-year-olds, and that shows the difference.
Are you still playing like competitively weekly then outside of this?
Yeah, for local club at Havant.
Yeah, and are you a family man?
Yeah, I play with my eldest son, who's just got in the same side, so that's quite cool.
I was going to say, I love that. I was just thinking about how you get away for a day to play hockey and then probably have a few beers afterwards.
Yeah, we don't talk about the beers because the missus doesn't necessarily. Isn't it? Yes, definitely.
We were just late because we played away. Yeah. You liar, right?
Terrible traffic.
And what's it like coaching people in sort of a Masters situation? Because were you a coach beforehand?
I played for a while and then turned into coaching, as you do when you have to, sort of thing. My playing time came to an end, so I decided to continue giving back. Sport's amazing, you know, and to help, you know, people continue to play, as I said, you know, that's what it's about really, is, you know, you want to be competitive, you want to still be playing, and then when you get to play against everybody your own age, it's actually quite fun, you know, and you make proper friends forever, sort of thing, you know? And it works.
What's it like coaching a Masters team, though? Because you might have this notion of going, I'm going to make you run this, I'm going to make you do this, and then you go, hold on, let's take a step back a minute.
You've also got to be quite clever.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to manipulate and convince them to do it. A little bit of bribery sometimes helps. But no, it's a lot of fun. But you also get a lot of knowledge input from the players themselves. They'll let you know when they've gone too far or haven't gone far enough, or, you know, they will let you know. But it's nice because it's a family inside a family sort of thing. So it is really nice. And then, you know, their partners come along and their kids come along, and you get a nice support base, and it makes it a lot of fun.
Andy, what's he like as a coach?
Yeah, he's good. Talks a lot. You know, doesn't shout too much. I've had people that shout a lot more than me. Yeah. One of them's also in this room. He shouts quite a lot, and he's not normally coaching me. He's just next to me.
That's nice. But you can tell even through you three just talking, there's a bond there, and it's Look, you see this all the way through sport. I remember, like, the first you're playing kids football, you're playing kids squash, tennis, whatever it may be, and then you start to get older. When you get into your first adult team, you start going, this is quite cool, actually. You all get together, you train once a week, you go there, and that never leaves you. And actually, I do a fair bit on men's mental health, and one of the things that always pops up is when men get into their late 20s, 30s, 40s, it becomes really, really difficult from time to time to actually create those bonds again and create those friendships. And these sorts of tournaments, these sorts of sports are actually the best way for blokes to do it, where it's not just focused in the pub. Granted, there'll be a drink or so afterwards, but it's not focused there, and guys get to be guys again. And do you feel a bit like that, Andy, over this kind of tournament?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You feel you've earned your beer after running around for just over an hour. So, but yeah, definitely, and it's out in the open. It is good for the mind and the soul.
Simon, what's the kind of, where are we on day 7, and how does this culminate? How does it end? What teams are taking part besides England?
So we've got men's and women's across 35s, 40s, 45s and 50s. So there's 52 teams, different numbers of teams in different pools. So for example, the women's over 40s, unfortunately, only has 4 teams in their competition, so they've only just started. Part of that, just to give an awareness of where this goes, it's not just here. So the World Cups next year are in Cape Town and Auckland. So it's not just the domestic stuff. So it's all self-funded. So every single person at the tournament is paying for themselves to be there. This isn't a national governing body paying for all the sides to turn up. Therefore, they have to pick and choose, if they're family people, what they can commit to. So here, we're now at the culmination of a lot of the pool stages. So if it's a round robin, teams are starting to work out whether they'll make the final, make the medal rounds. These guys are now in a semi-final tomorrow. So the England 50s will play Spain. The other semi-final is a repeat of last year's World Cup final, which is the Netherlands-Germany, which will be absolutely fabulous. So 2 games back-to-back, which will be interesting to see who comes out on top of that. And then teams, therefore, Saturday and Sunday is all the finales. All the finales, presentations, see who takes home the European Championship Cups.
It's exciting times. Now, if people want to come along and watch, can they? Do they pay? Do they turn up? What do they do?
Absolutely free. Free of charge. There is no reason why they shouldn't come down. Both these guys are a testament to the energy levels that exist across all the teams. It's an exciting sport, and I can throw out all sorts of stats in there. That's kind of my job. But with the fact that there is so much energy on a field, is that even people who come along and experience it can see it's a different dynamic. Actually, to present the whole thing, there's a World Ultimate Frisbee Championship going on just next door at the grammar school. So there's a couple of frisbees floating over pitches at times with the wind this week. So yeah, please do. It starts tomorrow. It's a match programme that only starts at 12. So the players have got morning off, but then from then it is pretty much full on 3, 4, 5 game schedules every single day. We've had, by the end of it, we'll have had 207 match slots across the 10 days. So teams working really hard. It's worth coming down.
So the majority of people brought their family with them to Nottingham for this, the duration of the tournament?
I think lots have. I can't speak for these guys whether their family and friends are coming along, but in principle they do, because we've termed it a performance festival, because it's very much high performance. Once you walk over that white line, absolutely, it means everything. The men and the women in the competition, they train physically. It's not about just turning up with a stick and playing. They have trained, they've gone through selection processes, and they're now representing their nations, the 9 countries that we've got competing. But off the pitch, there is a social environment. There is, as Gus says, making friends for life. AR and I have known each other probably for 20 years on fields, and you reconnect every few weeks or through tournaments, and that's exactly the same across multiple different teams. So yes, they then bring friends and family, and there is a social environment, and people will plan their dinners, and not just from within the teams themselves, across different teams.
Andy, has there been some raucous nights out so far? Why are you smiling? There's a story to be told. Gus looks worried.
No, we don't need to be worried about anything at the moment. It's fine.
No, we're pretty sensible. We've all, as Simon says, spent a lot of money to come here, and to be honest, that's not the reason we're here to win.
Yeah.
So we've had some nights out, but nothing stupid.
We've sampled Nottingham and many of the restaurants, and we've been served and treated extremely well in the restaurants that we've gone into. So that side of it's been fun, and we've had some fun. But like they say, many of them have travelled, over the last 3-4 months, 3.5 hours to come to a training session. And as Simon said, paid their own way. So it is about being competitive, and everybody's here for a reason. And it's a little bit of silver or gold at the end. You never know. But to get into a final and get into the top 3, the best teams in Europe, that's special. That's special, no matter what age you are.
Yeah, well, 100%. Those sorts of things don't change, do they? They never change. What are our chances, Gus?
I can't.
Oh, come on! Get off the fence on so many of these things.
I can't do it because I'm a little superstitious on that side of it, and I don't want to call it just yet. We've played extremely well so far. I'll put it.
We're
that
competitive. We'll say we're competitive.
Well, the 50s were a hard age group to be in because we had the most teams to compete against.
Yeah.
So we've played against the top 5 in Europe. We are we're one of the top 5, but it's so nice being able to challenge yourself and play against the top teams in your age group across the whole of Europe. It's special. Yeah.
Simon, why aren't you playing?
I did play a long time ago in goal at kind of top level, and then decided probably 6 or 7 years ago to step out of goal and try and test myself to get on pitch. And it was a challenge this year. It was something that I wanted to follow through on, but I'd already committed because of last year, the World Cup, and then I committed to this. It's a very small organising committee we have. We just have 5 of us to run it, and therefore, I have personal philosophy. I believe if you're going to do something, you do it properly. And for me to try and compete with these guys would have meant doing all the background work and then literally walking onto a pitch, playing, and then walking off and not doing anything that surrounds that. And I don't think that's the right thing to do. For some people, I was lucky enough to play at international level, at normal level, if you like, as a goalkeeper. And for some of these guys, it means everything to them. And therefore you want to respect that, and that's what you see across all the teams, is that there might be some players who maybe even played at Olympic level who are here, but they respect the level that this is everything for the people who've been involved. And I think that's what's respected. And so whilst Andy talks about we've had a bit, or they've had a beer, at the same time they know where the line is, because actually that is secondary to getting on a pitch, because the competitive element still exists.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I didn't feel that I could have a genuine commitment to the team if I was also doing what I'm doing. So this year isn't my year, but next year you never know. I'll trial and see what happens.
What's it been like putting something like this together? Because I imagine it's taken an awful lot out of you.
It's pretty hard work. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you're talking about a budget that runs into hundreds of thousands of pounds. You're talking about something that's taken a year in planning. We pretty much had a month off after the World Cup last year and then put it together. It's made much easier because of the energy of people such as Gus and Andy and the other players across all the teams, because they want to be here, so they're not deliberately trying to make your life difficult. And all that we're trying to do, we've got some fabulous sponsors and partners from the local community, and that's meant that all that we have tried to do is put together this performance festival so they can do what they do on the pitch, and then we can provide all the little bits that then surround that, the accommodation, the ability to get to the venue. We've got, I'm going to mention here, so Nottingham Express Transit are our transit partner, which is a local, obviously, entity that have really supported us, and it means that they can all travel around the city and visit everything in the local area. Yeah. So they've done really well with that, and therefore they can get out and experience things that just takes away it being a real hard focus. You mentioned about the mental side of things, the ability to play and then to step away and relax. So it is hard work, but it's the rewards at the end of the day when you see the smiles on people's faces are more than enough for what we've done.
Why Nottingham?
Can I throw that across and ask what these guys think about the facility you have here in Nottingham, if that's fair enough?
Yeah, I think with the number of teams and games that need to be played, there aren't many, if another place in the country that has 5 top quality pitches that you can all play on and enjoy, with the change rooms and the rest of the facilities there. That would be my main reason.
Yeah, the facilities have been incredible.
I thought you were going to say the restaurants again, Gus.
we stick to play now. But no, the facilities are fantastic. Everything is in one place, and to get there is so easy. And you just turn up and you can go and play, but you can also move between all the pitches.
Yeah.
And you can watch anything you like. You're not moving too far, so it's easy to walk around with a bag, and you can just jump from game to game and enjoy your day. Right,
guys. Well, we're running out of time this evening, but best of luck in the rest of the tournament. Simon, just once more, if people want to come down, is there a website they should look at to see all the fixtures, schedules, and where everything's playing out?
Yes, if you go on to Google, and it's the Celixir World Masters Hockey European Championships. The website is mec23uk.worldmastershockey.org. That's got all the schedules on it. There's a whole load of social media presence, World Masters Hockey. Take the vowels out of that because we're new and trendy. And go across there. That's got all the schedules on a daily basis. Please do come down and support all the teams.
Marvellous. Guys, thank you very much. It's 1:07 on BBC Radio Nottingham. In the Game, we'll be back tomorrow evening. And tomorrow evening, David Jackson's going to be hosting, and you're going to be hearing from former Forest striker Paul McGregor talking about his time working under Brian Clough.